When I first thought about this topic, my immediate thought was to look at using the D2 of the options. Of the options to use the fit surface probabilities for each. For readers unfamiliar with some of the math, it's this math where CS2T is the price of the call option, S is the current spot price, K is the strike price of the option, T is expiration time, T is the current time, R is the risk-free rate, P is the cumulative distribution function of the standard normal distribution.
Don't run with the pack. If everyone is trying to solve the same problem, or a whole group of people, if that's the latest and greatest thing to do, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Do something original. Don't follow the pack.
What's your thoughts on the new research paper published called Expected Political Outcomes in Currency Markets? I haven't read that. Oh, this article will tend to become a bit math heavy. It's option after all, but what really is worth understanding is the D1 plugs into CDF and gets you your delta, and if you adjust it for time and volatility, you get D2, or the probability of the option will expire in the money. We can see quite simply how D1 and D2 with a quick adjustment. I'm writing down questions right now. Aspiring quants can giving a basic code example here, so you can go ahead and make that math up there in the code, not too hard, which produces this plot here. Implied probability density function of price to expiration. We do a few modifications to this as we then also look at the probability that the price will end up with 100 within 100 and 1000 of each strike for ETH and BTC respectively, but I will touch on this in a later article. Improving on this, it's not a terrible method for estimating the probability that prices will be within the X amount of strike, but when it comes to uniform distributions, we get a pretty terrible job. That said, we do capture bumps in the curve, which I personally think are valuable. For the sake of uniformity, we will assume a log normal distribution and weight by the bid-ask spread. Absolutely. Shoot me links, bro. Shoot me links, dude. I'm always interested in learning more. There's some earlier computation here, but this gives us the below plot for 31st of May 2024. This isn't so presentable, so we will of course add a bit of fun to the plots and show it all the next section. Alpha Academy. Thank you, dude. Is there a Dropbox for white papers like this? Quant Secret? Nice, dude. Thank you. Keep sending them. This is algos.org. I'm reading through this to see if we have some good questions for Homeboy. Um, yeah. What the market thinks. Here's our probability distributions estimated from our more naive approach to things like plainly uses D2. Okay, so he's using options here in crypto. These plots are nice and all, but they don't tell us an awful lot in intuitive terms about where the price will go. So it isn't easy. So it isn't so easy to visualize. Probability BTC is within 1000 of strike price across expiries. Plotting our mixture model approach. Yo, thank you, Rando. Thank you, dude. I'm gonna look at all these. I'm gonna put it all on a sheet or something. There are many caveats to note here, and they really should not be ignored. The first is that we do not believe that the market implied volatility will be the realized volatility of the market. To estimate this, we would need to do work on estimating the realized volatility against the market's implied over time and infer from this a rough guess of the true implied distribution. The distributions also had very fat tails because we have out of the money options which are not being weighted down in their presence. We can see below how illiquid options form a large part of the curve. We would be better served by fitting a least squares spline and weighting by bid-ask spread in our distribution. This is algos.org. Algos.org. Least square splines will tend to overshoot with sparse data, however, and so we would prefer to use Fengler's method, which preserves convexity and monotonicity of the implied volatility surface. I'll demonstrate this some other time. There's much more on this topic and many methods exist. Log normal mixture, stochastic collocation, Andreessen-Huge, Butterfly's method, Breeden-Litzenberg. These methods are often used by real practitioners. We'll dive deep in a later article. In the meantime, feel free to check out this prior article where we dove into spline